Hey everybody, and welcome once again to the Poindexter Lounge. Come on into the lounge if you've never been here before and just pull up a seat up to the table. It's a place for nerds, right, Tiff?
Yes.
Yes, it's a place where we can all just have a good time and talk about the things that we love in this world. Things like Star Wars and things like video games and movies and TV shows and all that good stuff, all right? We want you to know that this is a place for you. It's about what you like and about what you don't like. And of course, today we're talking about a subject, well, that fits that mold precisely, about what some people like and what some people don't like. But before we get into that, first of all, my name is Enosh, aka Enosh Fett. That's what I like to go by here in the lounge. And with me, as always, is the lovely
Tiff-tastic or Grand Tiff Tarkin?
That's right. And Tiffany, do we like to interact with people and talk to people?
A little bit. It helps us get an idea of what people are thinking, what they're saying, and ideas for our show.
That's right. So, hey, you know what? And I'll tell you what, this actually works, Tiff, because some people were just asking me this week, they'd love to see us do like a gaming show, a show about gaming, something for gamers. And the reality is, I'm not really that big of a gamer. So, but I love video games, but hey, our boys love video games. And so Isaac loves video games, Landon loves video games, and Logan, of course, loves video games. But hey, we are now talking about possibly doing a gaming show. And so getting some people that I know, if you haven't noticed, I've gotten some people in here that have similar likes to us. And so it's not just our beautiful faces that you'll be seeing on the channel, but we've got some other people coming in. And so there is something for everybody. So if you would like to see something, please do us a favor. Leave a comment down in the comment section. Keep the conversation going beyond just us talking to you about whatever we're talking about. You can also follow us on Twitter at Enosh Music and keep the conversation going there. And hey, if this is your first time, will you please hit that subscribe button so that you are part of this community, so that you can become part of what we're doing here. And Tiffany, do we like it when they give us a thumbs up?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. And it's not because we're just clamoring for likes. We want people to like us, yes. But the more important thing is we just want to know that you like the content that we're putting out. And that just kind of helps us know that you dig it, right? And hit that notifications bell so that you know when we put out new videos. And we've been putting out new videos pretty regularly now, basically 2 or 3 a day. So keep on looking for those. But today, Tiffany, we're talking about something that I don't even know if I want to talk about anymore. I'm serious. I almost want to hide my Last Jedi t-shirt. No. Hey, we are talking today about Rian Johnson and the new trilogy that Rian Johnson is supposed to be making. Coming up here soon. So, here's the thing, Tiff. You loved Last Jedi.
Yes, I did.
I love The Last Jedi. But we understand there's a lot of people who...
With these little porgs?
Yeah, she loves porgs. I didn't bring the big one down. She's got a huge one, but he'd be a guest on the show, I think. So, Tiffany, what about The Last Jedi do you like?
I just liked the continuation of the story. I liked that we got to see a little more of where Kylo Ren went with what we saw at the end of The Force Awakens. We got to see where Rey was going when she kind of met up with Luke and was training with him, or trying to train with him. I just liked the little nuances that you got. I actually liked the role that Leia played regardless of what others say. I have my opinion about that, and I thought it was actually very cool in what she did. So it's kind of heartbreaking to know what's coming in 9 because of what happened in real life, but I just loved the way that it was put together. I loved the storyline, and I loved the things that it added. Now, everything wasn't perfect, and it wasn't 100%, yes, this is the best movie ever, but I also liked it more than Rogue One, and I liked it better than some of the other ones, that are out there, but it's Star Wars to me, and I went and saw it a couple times because I liked it that much.
And for me, honestly, it's my second favorite Star Wars movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, literally, it's Empire always. That will never change. I don't think there will ever be another Star Wars movie, no matter how good. And I go on record right now. No matter how good it is, I just don't see another movie being, to me, what Empire was. But man, Last Jedi just hit so many of those beats that I was wanting. And I know, guys, we're not going to rehash that, but I know that everybody has their own opinions about The Last Jedi, okay? But we are talking today about Rian Johnson. Now, Rian Johnson wrote and directed The Last Jedi. And right now, Tiffany, there's some big controversy going on, and there's all kinds of stuff going on. Kathleen Kennedy is the president of Lucasfilm, and she has basically had her hands on the sequel trilogy and in these movies coming out, and what do you think overall of, now we've gotten 4 movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've gotten The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, Rogue One,
Yep.
and Solo. What do you think of where the movies have gone so far?
I actually like what they've done for the most part. I like I said with Last Jedi, I love the cool, like, I don't know if they're called gorilla walkers, the way that they kind of walked on their knuckles, but it was kind of like a cool update on the walkers that we've had in the original trilogy. But there was just things in Solo that I loved. I mean, I went into it thinking it's not my Han Solo, it's not Harrison Ford, but that quickly vanished in the first 5 minutes when he had mannerisms like it. Like I said, he wasn't perfect, but he made me believe it to where I can't wait to own it. It's one of those things that they did a great job. The guy who played Lando was just a spitting image, and he sounded like him if you closed your eyes. So it's these little things that kind of add up and make you think where else they can go in the universe and add to it. The things that tie together and how they can just expound on that. So
now I'll say this: hey, if we all lived in a perfect world, the sequel trilogy would have been made right after Return of the Jedi, and it would have followed along, to me, the Timothy Zahn Heir to the Empire thing. I mean, Heir to the Empire, folks, if you're sitting there thinking, well, these guys, they just don't know Star Wars, and they don't understand that Legends was so awesome and amazing, and and the EU and everything.
I'd rather see the Old Republic in a movie.
Listen
honestly.
to me. Listen to me. Listen, okay? I am a huge Timothy Zahn fan, okay? And to me, there will always be a part of me that believes Heir to the Empire is exactly what happened after Return of the Jedi. That'll just always be. I'm sorry. It's just is what it is. But unless they come back in 9 and say that Mara Jade is still alive somewhere.
Mara Jade.
See, there it goes to show you. She's got a Mara Jade shirt, ladies and gentlemen. But unless they kind of retrofit it and say that all that stuff happened, then we got to go with what we got. Right? Now, here's the thing. Because of the controversy, I have been very concerned as of late with this whole Rian Johnson trilogy that he's supposed to do. Kathleen Kennedy, the president of Lucasfilm, basically hired Rian Johnson before The Last Jedi came out. They were so convinced that The Last Jedi was just going to blow up and do awesome and not blow up the other way that they signed Rian Johnson on to write a new trilogy of movies and to at least direct the first movie of that trilogy. Now that is putting a lot of eggs in one basket, and I'll admit that. But here's the thing, Tiffany, and I said this a little bit in our video last week about when all the standalone movies got put on hold, which now apparently Obi-Wan is not on hold. They're talking about they're still working on it.
They should do a standalone of Thrawn, because I thought Benicio del Toro would have been a better Thrawn than he was a DJ, but that's just me.
Yeah. Well, but here's the thing. So now we got this trilogy coming, and as much as I don't have a problem with The Last Jedi,
I don't know how I feel about having him direct or put together 3 more movies that could or could not do well.
Look, because I recognize that, hey, everybody out there who got mad about The Last Jedi, you protested, you boycotted, and Solo, which is a good movie. I loved Solo personally.
I loved his car at the beginning.
And you know what? And everybody that I've heard that's gone to see it, even the people who boycotted and didn't go opening weekend or whatever, the people who've gone to see Solo have enjoyed Solo. And that seems to be the general consensus. My concern is this. If you take the director and writer of the movie that has caused all this problem, and you say, hey, we're giving the future of Star Wars. Now, I know that there's another trilogy being made that we don't know exactly what it is. Some have speculated that it's the Old Republic, being done by they call them D&D. It's called the D&D trilogy because I can't remember. I don't watch Game of Thrones, but it's the guys who created.
I thought it was Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, no, that'd be a weird combination. No, it's because both the guys who created Game of Thrones, their names begin with a D, so it's like David or somebody else. Anyways, if you know, leave it down in the comment section, please.
Thank you.
School us, please, in Game of Thrones, if you're a Game of Thrones fan. But so I don't think that it's a good idea, because like I said, we're getting that other trilogy, but a lot of people are speculating that that's possibly the Old Republic, and it would be fitting for the Game of Thrones guys to make an Old Republic movie. But here's the thing. you're talking about the future of Star Wars, pretty much the main trilogy after this
5,
trilogy,
10 years.
and they're saying that and we've gotten very little information about what this trilogy is. The only thing that we've been hearing are things like this will be totally different, involve completely
different good or different bad.
Well, that's the question. It involves people who are not a part of the Star Wars universe right now, okay, and it will totally change the way we look at the Force.
Please don't tell me they're going to have a movie about the midichlorians.
No, that's George Lucas.
Okay, good.
No, so
it would be nice if they'd expound on what happened with Rebels too, just to kind of.
So here's my concern. It's already been so polarizing.
It seems like Star Wars is going to be that now.
Disney, just let it go. You know, there's all this stuff swirling right now that Iger from Disney is like this close to firing Kathleen Kennedy, that she probably won't last the summer or at least the fall, because they've got Star Wars Celebration coming up, and I really doubt that they will let her get on stage at Star Wars Celebration with all of this. I mean, you got all of these Star Wars fans. They didn't have Star Wars Celebration last year. They've got it in Chicago this year. I would be so shocked if they let this woman, who everybody is calling for her head, get on stage at Star Wars Celebration and announce anything.
I think they'd be throwing blue milk at her.
Oh my gosh, because fans want her gone. And I'll be honest with you. Whoops, don't mess up my Millennium Falcon. I'll be honest with you. At this point, I think she's doing more harm than good. Even though I like the movie, I think that her presence now, because of the divided, good, bad, indifferent,
she's got
whatever,
an emperor feel going on.
it's just done, you know. And so, Rian Johnson directing and writing that movie is her call, was her move.
Yep.
I think he's got to go with her. I do. I've read comments in comment sections for different videos here on YouTube and different articles online and stuff. And man, people are angry, and people just, they're not. I mean, I've seen people say no matter what. I mean, Kathleen Kennedy she produced the Indiana Jones movies, which are some of my favorite movies.
But
you know what I mean? It's not like
apparently she is.
It's not like the woman doesn't know how to produce a movie. I just don't get it. But you know, and like
she's lost her touch.
Rian Johnson directed Looper and some other movies, and it's just like now I've seen people say, I'm never going to watch another Rian Johnson movie ever again, let alone Star Wars. Rian Johnson movie. They just don't want it. So, with all of that, I just really think that at this point, Rian, you got to go, man. And Kathleen, you got to go. And this trilogy, I think, is a big mistake.
Yeah.
Because, Tiffany, if people didn't go to see Solo just because of one movie, and Rian Johnson didn't even have anything to do with Solo.
Yep. But they didn't like him in The Last Jedi and what he did to it, so that therefore caused them to boycott this one. Now you're going to boycott, you're going to just mess up all the numbers just because of putting someone in, out there that just did what they feel he did.
And if Lucasfilm is like trying to figure out everything and jostling everything and stuff, oh my goodness. The box office for that trilogy,
it's going to bomb.
It would just be awful.
And then they're going to say, look how Star Wars isn't doing well. Wonder why.
And here's the thing, folks. I just want Star Wars. I don't want to argue anymore. I don't want to argue with everybody anymore. I love you all.
It's like fighting with an ex-girlfriend.
I know. I love all Star Wars fans, folks. I just want good Star Wars, okay? And I think that's what we all want, is just good Star Wars movies. Now, here's the thing. I do believe, though, that we have to understand, because I saw there's one popular YouTuber who mentioned, he's like, I just want J.J. Abrams to bring the new trilogy, the sequel trilogy, to a satisfying conclusion and end. To which I say, satisfying to who?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we've already set this up now that if everybody isn't completely satisfied, it's going to blow up. So, I mean, what are we doing, fans? What are we doing here, folks? Let's not destroy Star Wars as we knew it, or as we know it, or as we want to know it. You know, I'm worried.
Yep.
I really am worried for Star Wars, and I'm worried about
the future of it.
Disney executives just being hardline and saying, no, this is what we're just going to push through because we want to. I'm worried about fans saying, no, unless we have Luke Skywalker riding a Rancor, bringing down planets on top of the First Order, and, and you know, I don't know. I just don't know where Star Wars goes from here, folks. And I'm a huge Star Wars fan. And so have been since I was 1 year old. I remember going to see Star Wars, the original Star Wars, before it was called A New Hope, in the theater. And I remember going like every week back then. And I remember going to see The Empire Strikes Back when I was 3 years old. Okay? So I'm concerned. I really am concerned. How about you, Tiff?
Yeah.
So, are you concerned? What you guys are the fans. Let us hear what you have to say. Let us hear what you guys think. Leave it in the comment section. Go to Twitter at Enosh Music and let us know. Tweet us about what you feel is the right choice. Do you think that Rian Johnson needs to go? Would you even consider going to see a Rian Johnson trilogy at this point? Or are you just like, no matter what, even if they get rid of Kathleen Kennedy, we don't want Rian Johnson. Let us know, please. Let's have that conversation because, hey, that's what the Poindexter Lounge is all about. All right, guys. Well, that was last call. Until next time, I'm Enosh, a.k.a. Enosh Fett, along with the lovely
Tiff-tastic or Grand Tiff Tarkin?
Yes, and we'll see you next time. May the Force be with you. And just go see Solo, please.